At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
It's good to see everyone. So welcome home to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. Welcome home to this wonderful Science of Mind teaching. And welcome home, we're going to kind of invite in today that home of the heaven of our heart. You know, where that love lives eternally, where we remember the people who have made their transition or who are with us, and the people we've yet to meet. So we're holding all of that in our heart this Memorial Day. And I'm thinking of my father as we start this service. And yes, we will get the announcements in. But I'm thinking of my dad on this Memorial Day. He was a West Pointer, and he was a WW2 veteran. And toward the end of his life, he used reading glasses. And he could never find them. And he'd be going around the house to my mom, "Where are my reading glasses?" And she wouldn't tell him. He'd go to my brothers, "Where are my reading glasses?" And they wouldn't tell him. And they'd come to me, and I wouldn't tell him. Then he'd pass in front of a mirror. They were right there on top of his head. So that's one of my stories of my dad remembering to remember. And so he'd always give us dirty looks and say, "Why don't you tell me they were on my forehead?" So there's some of the nice memories that we invite in, and those are the memories that live forever and the memories that touch our heart and bring laughter to our heart. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. I'd like to say that, we are people of many faces and many places and many races, that the language we speak, when we're on our best of terms with Spirit, is the language of love. And for those online, our online spiritual community, we're so glad you're joining us today. We feel your presence. We send you our energy. We know you're feeling our presence. And we invite you to kick back and relax and enjoy what unfolds in this service. Now, if you're a first-time guest, do we have anyone here first time? Yes, we do. So in the back, I will meet you in the back after service. We have a welcome packet that tells you about our thinking and our philosophy and our center. So don't leave here today without a welcome packet so you can know a little bit more about us. And welcome. We're glad you're here. Welcome home. After service, we have started and continuing a fellowship meal in Carter Hall back here. I know there are enchiladas today. There's chicken and rice today. Some other things will be coming in, so we've got a luncheon for you back there. So stay and enjoy fellowship and lunch today. And if you have your cell phone with you, we love hearing from Spirit. And we love when Spirit calls on our cell phones, but not during service. We do the direct connect here. So we ask you to disconnect from your cell phone, make sure it's in vibration mode or turned off, so we can do that direct connect with Spirit. And our vision statement today, let's read it. Chuck and Adrian have it up on the screen. And this is our vision for our community and for our world. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. And so we're going to go into an opening song.
Good morning. Get ready to raise the roof. Spirit is in this place.
If you know this, I invite you to stand up and sing and move with Denise Rossier and get that energy flowing if you know it.
We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. Yes. And we have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Ooh. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Let's sing it together. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a roof, a shout of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Yeah, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Ooh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Spirit is in this place. Let's sing it. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a roof with shouts of praise. Raise a roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place.
So I want you to know Spirit is in this place of CSL Beaumont today, because we have Reverend Carey visiting today. So we can give a warm round of applause for Reverend Carey stopping by. Glad to have you here today. So our announcements, Good Grief Group, as always, continues on Thursday afternoon here in the sanctuary from 1 to 2:30. There are flyers on the back table. We have bingo coming up. The bingo is metaphysical bingo. That will be next Sunday after lunch. And we do metaphysical terms to call out the bingo number, like if it's B4, we call out beautiful 4, blessed 4, or blessing 4, or B, just the presence of being. So we're doing metaphysical bingo next Sunday. Our Science of Mind discussion group continues, and that continues at the home of Emmy. It's 9:50 on Thursdays. Our metaphysical movie and a meal continues every second Wednesday of the month. That's May 12th this month. It's here, the meal, we host a spaghetti and garlic bread and Caesar salad meal in there before the movie from 5 to 6. The movie is in here from 6 to 7:30, and the discussion. And this month's movie, how many have seen this movie? It's Disney's Soul. How many people have seen Soul? If you ever questioned about the afterlife, is there an afterlife? Where are you going? Are you going anywhere? And I like to say, this is where I like to say for myself, and it feels right for me, are we going anywhere afterwards? And I really like saying, and this feels right for me, and I think it honors our teaching, I'm not going anywhere, I'm going everywhere. I don't think we go anywhere. I really feel we go everywhere. And I think Ernest would be in alignment with that. But if you have a question, do you go anywhere, do you go everywhere, or do you go nowhere? Soul helps answer that in a wonderful, wonderful way. So it's a really, really good movie that exemplifies our teaching. We began this past Wednesday, Power of Your Decisions. It's still okay to join the second week. After this week, we will close Power of Your Decisions class. But if you're interested in joining Power of Decisions class, we have about 12 people. You want to join, come talk to me after service, and we'll make a space available for you. We are doing a Father's Day barbecue, and so here's how this center's working. Here's how this center's working. And I haven't experienced the instantaneous, the spontaneity, the in the moment of a center like I'm experiencing here. We're doing a barbecue and a bake sale. And the grill, Bill already checked out the grill and said, not gonna work. And so an email went out, oh, we need a grill for barbecue. And so Judy emails back within minutes, says, we have a grill, we'll bring it to the center, is the room in the shed. So Jason and I checked, there's room in the shed. But this center and this community is just showing up for this community. I thought, oh my gosh, we have 14 days to figure out a grill. We'll call Melanie, she'll give us a discount on our hardware store on a barbecue grill. We're gonna make this work. And it just showed up. And that makes it so easy for the minister when stuff shows up. It's so supportive of ministry, it's so supportive of the message, it's so supportive of this teaching, and it so brings in that aspect that what is ours to do? How do we step into spirit? Every day there's an opportunity to step into spirit, and so many people, and Lois is stepping in, and the trees are out of the parking lot, and so people at the center are stepping up and showing up in so many ways, and it just is what this teaching is all about community. So the barbecue will be hot dogs, hamburgers, and all the fixings provided by the center, and we will have a bake sale afterwards. And it's going to kind of be a bake sale auction. We're not quite sure how we're doing it yet, but there will be probably a suggested minimum bid on everything. We're asking every member of the community to bring something for the bake sale. Casseroles are always welcome. We find at bake sales, if you do a tuna casserole or a chicken casserole, some casserole that is dinner for 6, people actually are really loving to buy those and take it home and have dinner that night. So casseroles are really popular, we're finding, at potlucks. Cookies, brownies are also welcome. And it's going to be in support. The proceeds of this will go to support Kay Ross. She's moving, and it's going to be help Kay Ross, who supported the center for a long time, with her moving expenses. So that's where the bake sale proceeds will go. And fellowship afterwards, if you're going to be staying for prayer, 1 Minute Miracles or prayer, and Reverend Carey, I invite you to stay. We'll be over here. So grab Reverend Carey, grab myself, grab Yvonne. We'll be doing 1 minute prayers over here. Don't leave the center with anything heavy on your heart. And we have a final announcement. And the final announcement is that there's a concert today at 3 o'clock. And we have tickets for you. So if you're interested in the Redlands Community Orchestra, there's a free performance featuring Sophie Tate, and it's the Rhapsody in Blue of George Gershwin and Aaron Copeland, and Florence Price. So 3 o'clock, free tickets here. So if you're interested, come up and we'll get you a free ticket at lunch. So join us for that as well. So free concert, free Memorial Day concert.
Please come.
Pardon?
Okay,
all right. It's going to be very good because she's playing in it today, so make your way over there. Okay. And I'm one of your licensed practitioners and senior ministers at Center for Spiritual Living, Beaumont. And the other practitioners and I really are here to hold the space for you, to hold the high watch, to hold that consciousness. And what does a minister do and what do we do in prayer? We hold that consciousness within ourselves. We work on meditating and relaxing to that space of spirit where spirit is present and we get out of our own way. And we hold that space of spirit's presence for you so that you can relax and you can align with spirit's presence within yourself. And then your presence and my presence and spirit's presence align, and solutions to problems and problems become possibilities. Possibilities become potentialities, the potentiality of how we live our life. So prayer work and practitioner work is very powerful. It's available to you at the center, and we offer it to you today. So if you're not familiar with it, we invite you to come and give it a try today. Okay. And now, do we have a song here, Adrian? We have a song here. So I invite you to hear this in that place of silence, in that place in your heart, and that place in your soul. Let it go in.
There's quite enough love for all the world, and in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world, and there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to walk through every fear. One spirit, one spirit. Is in this very room, in this very room, in this very room.
And so, inviting that meditative space and that meditative sound and that meditative energy and that meditative vibration to expand, staying with that and allowing it to expand. We'll take that into prayer. We'll take that energy into prayer. And so our first step of prayer is Spirit is. And so what I'm knowing of Spirit is that Spirit is majestic. Spirit is magnificent. Spirit is in this moment. And as I am one with Spirit, and as I am in this moment, in this meditative moment, in this moment of presence, in this moment of peace, in this moment of power, I know for myself that this meditative space, the space of peace and of power, come into perfect balance on this Memorial Day Sunday. They come into that perfect balance. Heaven and earth is one. Michael and Spirit is one. This community and Spirit is one. And so in that oneness of the lion laying down with the lamb, I'm knowing Spirit as peace. I'm knowing myself as peace. And I'm knowing peace is what is present in the center right here and right now. And so knowing that oneness with Spirit and knowing that oneness with peace and power in balance, I affirm, I acclaim, I declare, and I demand for each person in the center today that perfect peace, that perfect presence, that perfect practice of spiritual tools that bring us into alignment, bring us into oneness, bring us into connection with that energy, that magnificent energy, that blooming energy, that blossoming energy, that energy of nature, that nature within, that nature without, that nature all around and all about. And so I affirm, I name, I declare, I demand for this center today that peace prevails. Peace prevails in each of our hearts, in each of our souls, in each of our minds, and in each of our lives. And so that was Michael praying as practitioner, and now I'll shift and put on my ministerial cap, and I'll do the final step, step 4 and 5, as a minister. So that was practitioner consciousness, steps 1, 2, and 3. And now in my ministerial cap, I'll do steps 4 and 5. And step 4 is gratitude. So from a place of gratitude of being present at a wonderful center. Gratitude for a community that takes ownership of its community. Gratitude for a community that understands it's all consciousness, and that in consciousness there is only possibility. There is only potentiality, and there's only perfection. So in my ministerial role, I will hold that gratitude and that grace and that giftedness of each of us knowing our perfection, our being part of the whole. We're one, but we're part of the whole of this community, the whole of this community that connects with Spirit in a very blessed and very beautiful and very bountiful day on this Memorial Day. And then our final and our 5th step is a step of release. And I release this prayer. I release the words of this prayer, the breath of this prayer, and the presence of this prayer into the universe, into the cosmos, into that spirit realm, knowing that prayer begun is already done, because the universe always says yes. And we like to see the word yes as the acronym. Yes evolves spirit. And together I invite us to say, and so it is. So Memorial Day. Yellow roses. My mother's favorite rose was a yellow rose. And whenever there's an opportunity to bring forth yellow roses, I bring them forth. She made her transition. And I always sent her FTD roses every birthday, every Memorial Day, every Easter. And she loved getting FTD flowers. Coming up the driveway, and so the FTD truck came up and left flowers, and they're beautiful. And she'd keep them long after the flowers had passed and made their transition into dried blossom. But she kept them and she saved them, and then she put them in a book, and they meant so much to her. So today I was working on this talk, and it dropped in that I would like to incorporate yellow roses somehow in this talk. And that was yesterday morning, and I'd been checking on Amazon, and they could deliver flowers overnight. I did not know this. And they had yellow roses all week, and I planned to order them Friday so they'd be fresh. Didn't want to order them Wednesday or Thursday, so Friday I go to order them from Amazon. He goes, "We are sold out of overnight delivery of yellow roses." People were ordering them. And so, at times in my life, if I trusted Spirit to deliver on time, all the time, to the right address, to the right zip code, to my house, if I trusted Spirit as much as I trust Amazon, I would be in a holy place all the time. I'd be a holy roller. And so there was my trusted Amazon, not able to deliver. I'd waited a little bit too long. And so we have the opportunity, right, to be present with Spirit. And so I thought Friday morning, yellow roses. And I called my local Costco, no, not enough yellow roses. And I went to our Albertsons, not enough yellow roses. So I went to one of the highest spirit sources I know, and that's Rev Bev. I mean, if you need to tap into spiritual presence, tap into Rev Bev. And so I called her Friday morning, it might have been Friday afternoon, and I said, 60 yellow roses by Sunday morning? And she said, no problem. And so she and Jason, I guess, went down to Albertson. They got some there, and they didn't have enough. And so I guess they went back Saturday, or they brought more in, so they were able to get them. And so there's part of ownership, right? How do we support this center? With a barbecue grill, or facilitating the trees being taken down, or yellow roses showing up on Sunday morning. And a center that knows itself so well, and knows its commitment to this community, that you trust. If someone says they're going to bring a barbecue grill, they bring a barbecue grill. If someone says they're going to bring yellow roses, they're going to bring yellow roses. If someone says they're going to commit and be on concierge team, meet and greet team, or kitchen angels team, all of these teams, or compassionate care team, which Yvonne is developing for this center, places on all of those teams, it's so wonderful to know that the teams are going to show up in the sense and the spirit of this wonderful teaching of love. And so for myself, Memorial Day is a time to pause and to reflect and to be present. And isn't that a wonderful gift to give to ourselves every day? To pause, to reflect, and to be present. Not just on Memorial Day. But it's a time to pause and reflect and be present this day, this special day, this Memorial Day, with the eternality of the memories of the life you have lived and the life you are living. Memorial Day is a time for me to pause, reflect, and be present with the eternality. It's one of our principles. Life is eternal, immortal, and continuous. And so the eternality of the memories of those you love and of those you have loved. And Memorial Day is a time to pause and reflect and be present with the eternality of those memories of those you have lost and yet who are forever in your heart. And with each beat of your heart, you're sending out love. That's the purpose of the heart. That's the passion of the heart, and that's the presence of the heart. Its purpose is love, its passion is love, and its presence is love. And so when we go to the heart of Memorial Day, and the heart of every day, the passion and the purpose and the presence of our Science of Mind teaching is the immortality and the continuity and the eternality of love ever expanding. And so I will read this letter to open our Memorial Day talk, and I invite you to let it take you to the place it takes you. You know, in our Science of Mind teaching, and in the higher watch of life, we have no points of departure and arrival. We just have the presence of the point of awareness where we're standing. Stephen Jobs said, you cannot see how the points of your life where you are standing along the way, you cannot see how every one of those points of your life connected into an amazing pattern, into an amazing journey, into an amazing formation of light energy until you look back from the end of your life. And at the end of Stephen Jobs' life, he shared that it isn't until the end that we can look back and see the whole. But that shouldn't keep us from living in the wholeness and the fullness and the greatness and the power of the presence and the passion and the purpose of Spirit every day. What did Martin Luther King say? And I'm going to memory, right? Remembering to remember, and I will do it to the best of my ability. But he said something, and we'll just bring in his energy, right? So the words won't be exact, but his energy is ever present. And he said, don't fail to climb a staircase just because you can't see the whole staircase. Don't be afraid to climb that first step because you can't see the whole staircase. So don't be anything but enthusiastic and energetic about being in the point of the place where your life is right now. And so this letter speaks to the point in the place that many of us are on Memorial Day. It's called a letter from heaven. When tomorrow starts without me, and I invite you to take this into your heart and to invite in a memory of someone that you love today, someone that you have loved, and someone who is no longer in physical presence. So a letter from heaven. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not here to see if the sun should rise and find your eyes filled with tears for me. I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we didn't get to do and say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. When tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right there in your heart. And I found that, and I thought that was so perfect for Memorial Day. The people that we love, the people we have loved, the people that we love in our heart that are longer here. And so I was thinking, let's see if we can go back here a slide. There we go. And so I was thinking on this Memorial Day, if there is a they or a those or a them for you, and if that they or those or them is a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a wife, a husband, a lover, a friend, or companion that you're thinking of who's not here with you today in physical presence, as long as you hold them in your heart, they're here. Science of Mind principle states love is eternal, immortal, and continuous. As long as we hold those we love in our heart, they're present wherever they are. And they don't go anywhere. They go everywhere. And they go everywhere that we are. You know, as long as you hold them in your heart, they're there. But they're not there, they're here. In the same way that Spirit is ever present. What do we open with? Spirit is in this house. Spirit is in this house because it's in our hearts. Because it's in our hearts and because we're here, Spirit is in this house. And so Spirit is ever present in heaven as so on earth. In the same way, Spirit is ever present in our lives. When we remember to remember Spirit's ever presence in our hearts. And so our opening slide, it is said, you can go 40 days without food. I don't believe I can. Betty Ann knows I'm a foodie. I do not believe that to be true. That is not a spiritual truth. Might be a human scientific truth, but it is not a spiritual truth. Just saying. You can go, some of us can go 40 days without food. We can go 3 days without water. We can go 8 minutes without air. And yet I find in my life, if I go 1 second without connection with Spirit's presence, that 1 second seems like an eternity. It seems like an eternity. So our talk today is speaking of that eternity. The eternity of the memories of our past, right? They're all there with us all the time. They will be there, whatever form we travel into the next plane. Ernest Holmes said we are vessels, we are containers for consciousness to flow in as and through us, like the vases for the flowers. Rev Bev wanted taller vases, and we couldn't find taller vases, so we may do with what we have here. But whatever you choose to put in that vase, is it a yellow rose, a red rose, a pink rose, a white rose? Is it your favorite flower? Is it a dandelion? I don't know. You know, she loves me. Spirit loves me. Spirit loves me not. Spirit loves me. Spirit loves me not. You know, that's kind of a wasted effort because Spirit loves you, and the presence of that dandelion is the gift of Spirit's presence, and we don't have to do love me not. And I think as we grow in spirituality, and they call it spiritual maturity, and as we raise up and praise up and amaze up, in that incredible consciousness, it raises and praises us up. We walk differently. We talk differently. We see differently. We know differently. We be differently, and that's part of Memorial Day. That's part of our message today, how we walk and we talk in that way, how books come to us and we read them and we know this person has had a transcendent experience because of the way he puts words together. They're different, and they're amazing gifts. They're gifts from eternity. And so the eternity of the memories of our past visit us in moments of this present. So during this service, I invite you to allow the memories of your past to visit you in this present moment, and to let them visit you in this present moment of here and now in a way that reminds you to remember on this Memorial Day, to remember on this Memorial Day, and that's our talk, that love is ever present. Love is eternal, immortal, and continuous beyond the battlefields, beyond the battlegrounds, beyond the battles in our minds, or the battles in the news, or the battles in our neighborhoods. A lot of battles going on, a lot of battles, and those battles are rattling us. And I think when we go to spiritual practice and spiritual principle and spiritual music and spiritual teachings and spiritual tools, we can let that rattle settle down. We can let that rattle in the world. We can let that rattle in our minds. We can let that rattle in our lives. Quiet down with spiritual tools. And so maybe there's some rattling on Memorial Day. And people who served and did not come home. And maybe we can let that rattle settle down into being present with those people today. Allow those memories of the past to join us right here in the present of this here and now future, and come to experience them in a whole new way. And our talk title, Remembering to Remember, and I say our talk title because that's part of the oneness and part of Spirit being in the house and Spirit being in our hearts as one in the heart of Spirit, that there is no ownership of anything. I don't care if you have the deed paid off to your house. I don't care if you have the title paid off to your car and you say, I own it. There's no deed of ownership to anything except the deeds of love that we practice in our life. And the deeds, when we let go of the deeds to our car and the deeds to our homes and the deeds to our land, and we take up the deeds that we're living our life through, the deeds of love and peace and calm and generosity, those are the deeds that are eternal, immortal, and continuous. Ernest Holmes was not talking about your mortgage. He was not talking about your car payment or your boat payment or your private plane payment. Ross wants to ride in a private plane someday. I just read they're like $100 million for a private jet now. We most likely, on a minister's salary, will not be acquiring a private jet. However, if anyone in this congregation has a private jet or knows someone who has a private jet, Ross, before he makes his transition, it's on his bucket list. He wants to fly just for 10 minutes in a private jet. So if you know anyone, contact me after service. But there's no ownership of anything in the sense that, and let's bring this into Memorial Day, right? Let's bring this into Memorial Day in a way we haven't brought it in before. There's no ownership in the sense that you can't take your stuff with you. You can't take your stuff with you. You can't take your stocks and bonds and dividends with you. Dorothy and I are very upset about that. But it's true, Dorothy, you can't. I was contemplating that Friday when I was day trading. It was going very well, and I went, no, I'm taking this with me. I'm enjoying it in the here and now, and I'm taking it with me, right? Ernest Holmes says we have the power of choice. But you can't take your stuff, your stocks, your bonds, your dividends, your day trading profits, your cars, your boats, your castles, and your moats with you. Yet there is a oneness with everything. And that oneness is of remembering to remember. And that's our talk title, Remembering to Remember that love is all there is, and that ever-presence of love is what we carry forward and carry on with. So remembering to remember that what you do take with you, and I believe you take this with you everywhere. Not anywhere, but everywhere. And what you do take with you on this Memorial Day and on every day, in physical form and in non-physical form. And Ernest Holmes said he didn't remember being in non-physical form, but he was certain that we continued on in the perfect vessel of consciousness that was perfect for the experience we were having. So the perfect vessel of consciousness for this experience we are having today on Memorial Day, what would that perfect vessel be? How about the vessel of God's heart as one with our heart? Could you imagine a more perfect vessel for love? So what you do take with you are the eternality of the memories of the life you lived, or the eternality of the memories of those you loved. Or the eternality of the memories of those you lost along the way. And our opening story, and I've told it before, and it just seemed right for this talk, it seemed right for the vessel of my heart today. It's called God's Waiting Room. So I know you've heard it before because I know I've shared it before. But I'm going to share it from a different place of my heart today. And I invite you to hear it in a different place in your heart today. Where are you going to hear this from? Our Power of Decision class. You get to decide where you're going to hear things from. So I invite you to hear this in your heart, but in a different space of your heart than you've heard it before. It's called God's Waiting Room. And it's about remembering to remember. The gentleman comes up to heaven's gate. God opens the gate and says, welcome to heaven. Spirit. I'm trying to move more towards spirit. God pushes buttons for some people. I'm one of those people. So I'm trying to be at peace and not push my own button. Isn't that a journey of science of mind? You know, the people who are pushing our own buttons is us. Why do we push our own buttons? It's always us. And are they pushing? No, it's our button. We installed it. We're the only ones who can uninstall it. So why do I push my buttons? I don't know. I'm going to go journal on that. It's called God's Waiting. You're welcome to heaven. And you have free reign. Because of the life you lived, you have free reign in heaven. There's nowhere you cannot go. There's no door you cannot open. There's no hallway you cannot walk down in heaven except that door to the left. And the gentleman says, well, why can't I open that door to the left? And Spirit says, because it will make you sadder than any day of your life that you ever lived. And it will make you sadder than you've ever been for all of eternity, so don't open that door. And God goes along his way, and the gentleman, of course, right, still carrying a little of that human form, not quite fully transformed into spiritual form and obeying spirit, and one with spirit, opens the door. And he opens the door, and what's in that closet are all of the gifts of grace and goodness and grandness and peace and love and light and truth and frequencies of faith and hope. And that journey of moving from hurt to hope to healing, all of that's in there. Beautiful gifts, more beautiful than ever seen. And God says, I told you not to open to the door. And the gentleman says, these are beautiful. Why would I be sad? Because those are all of the gifts you had available to you every single day of your life on earth. And you didn't take the time to open a single one. So on this Memorial Day, I invite us to remember to remember. And I've written just how important they are, but nothing is important. Nothing is important. This teaching is important. Nothing is important, but I think if we take a look at the word important, and I didn't do a wordsmith, we usually do a wordsmith, so let's make this our in-the-moment wordsmith, yeah? Let's make it happen right here in the moment. If I took the word important as our word for the day, I would take away the species consciousness feeling of important and putting away, oh my God, this is important. I pass this exam. This is important. I make this money to pay my bill. This is important. No, it's not important. That's one of our buttons that we put in. It's not important. But if we take a look at the word important as importing and shift it from the weight of importance to the wonder of importing, what am I importing into my life? What am I importing into my life? What am I importing through the words I speak, through the thoughts I think, through the actions I take, through the letting go of the deeds of my mortgage and opening up to the deeds of my presence? And so if we can remember to remember that nothing is important except that which we import into our lives through the deeds of our actions. And if what we import in through the deeds of our actions is the decency of love, then the gifts of family and friendship and faith, the gifts of love, light, and truth, the gifts of remembering to remember, love is all there is. Love is all there is. Are we queued up for our video? Because our opening story is a video that speaks to the eternality of the gifts of family, friendship, and faith, that speaks to the eternality of love, light, and truth, that speaks to our remembering to remember that love is all there is. And if we can run that video.
Go ahead and open it, open it. Look, sir, okay, your daughter, she wanted you to have this. Go ahead and take that out.
It's a big egg.
And open that up.
Great. Here we go. This is going to be fun. I can see it right now.
Well, go ahead and open.
Yeah.
Look, Mr. Wilkins.
What?
Rachel wanted me to let you know that she's very sorry that she couldn't be here.
I know. I understand. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
For God's sake.
Why does she have so many eggs
Yeah,
inside?
it's because I used to do the same thing to her grandma when she was alive. I put things in boxes, big box and a little box and a little box.
Oh, so she's giving you a little.
Yeah, I guess she wanted to pay back from me. What is that? Money.
So she wanted me to let you know that that's going to be for the house.
It's not going to be enough. So there's no point in giving it to me.
But she said that maybe you could buy some time, because...
No, we can't buy any time. We're going to get kicked out. We're
I know.
moving. We got the last eviction notice. You know that.
Yeah, but why do you want to leave?
I don't want to leave, but we have to,
But,
unfortunately.
I mean, at least you could use that money, though, for some extra time in the house. I mean, there's so
It's
many
not going to
memories.
help any extra time, so she can have this back. I don't take money from my granddaughter. Anyway, let's read the letter.
Okay.
Dear Grandpa, happy birthday. As we celebrate you today, I can't help but reflect on the incredible strength and love you poured into raising me. You stepped into the role of both grandfather and father with unwavering dedication, and your influence has shaped the person I am today. You've been more than just a grandpa. You've been my hero, my rock, and the guiding force in my life. Your sacrifices and the countless hours you devoted to ensuring my well-being have not gone unnoticed. On your birthday, more than any material gift, I want to express my deepest gratitude. Your love and guidance have been a constant source of inspiration, and I feel incredibly fortunate to have you as my grandpa. I hope to continue making you proud, just as I'm proud to call you my grandpa. This past year has brought down its own set of challenges, but your strength and support have been a constant comfort. Today is all about you, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to show you how grateful I am for everything you've done. Happy birthday, Grandpa. With love, Rachel. It's very nice.
So,
What?
reading that letter, does that change your mind at all about the money?
No, not at all, no. In fact, I'm going to give it right back to her because we don't need it. I'm fine. We're fine.
Why do you...
What?
Why don't you want to accept her help?
Because she helps me already. She helps me. Look, I'm in this wheelchair. You're here to help me, and she helps me. Where unfortunately we can't afford to stay in this house anymore, so we're going to an apartment. That's fine. We'll all be fine.
But what about the memories that you had in this house?
We always will have our memories. That's fine. All right? So let's not talk about it anymore.
Okay, well, look, Mr. Wilkins, I have one more surprise for you.
I don't want another surprise.
I think you're going to want this one. Okay?
Grandpa.
What? Rachel, what are you doing here? I thought you said you were at work. What is this?
Frida.
100,000 for mortgage. What? I don't understand.
I'm paying off the house.
What?
in
How
full.
can you pay off the house?
Because, Grandpa,
How?
Because thanks to you, I was able to go to school and get an amazing
Oh.
job and a promotion. And I've been saving for the last 2 years.
No.
Because I want to pay back.
Oh, no.
You're gonna take that money, and that is going to Tony, so that way he can take care of you full time, okay?
No.
You are not worrying anymore in this house.
What? Oh my God.
We're not going anywhere.
This is not true. This can't be happening, can
Happy
it?
birthday.
Oh.
So that video for me speaks to the eternality of the gifts of family and friendship and faith. It speaks to me of the eternality of love and light and truth. And it speaks to our remembering to remember, and that's our talk title today, Remember to Remember. Love is all there is. We can't take our boats, our castles, and our moats with us. We can take with us the eternality of the memories of the life we lived. So live a good one. We can take with us the eternality of the memories of those we loved. So love unconditionally. And we can take with us the memories of those we've lost. And we can take with us the memory of those whose lives we changed. Our talk theme, can we move to the next slide? Our talk theme is remembering, realigning, and redesigning. It's about remembering the past. It's about realigning the present. And it's about redesigning the future, and that's Science of Mind. We bring our past into the present, and the past of our hurts and our losses and our missing, we heal in the present moment of bringing our love to that, of bringing our memory to that, of bringing our warmth to that, of bringing our smiles to the good times we shared with those who are no longer here. And so we move from the hurts of our past to the hope of our healing in this present moment. And as we move from our hurts to our hopes, we move into a healed future, a healed perfection, a healed wholeness, a healed oneness. And yet we heal it in the present moment, and we don't experience this is a little Science of Mind, this is a little bending the spoon, but we heal it in the present moment because that's the only place love exists. Love heals, makes whole, and makes complete. And so we heal our hurts in the present moment, and then they are healed in our future moments, but our future moments exist in the present moment by the power of the decisions we choose to make. So we're going to go here. Tony Orlando wrote a song which allowed many people to do that, to remember the past, to find a new way to align that past in the present, and then to thereby redesign their future. And he did a song called Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree. It's a powerful spiritual ritual, and I don't think we'll play it because of time today. We all know it. Tie a ribbon around the old oak tree, but I think I will do a minister's prerogative to edit in the moment, right? And let Spirit know that we know that in our hearts and in our minds and our souls. And we know how that song, Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Oak Tree, affects all of us. The yellow ribbon is a symbol of support for absent or missing loved ones, especially those in the military or in prison. The tradition of the yellow ribbon dates back to the Civil War era, when women of the Civil War era wore a yellow rose in their hair to signify they had a loved one away at war and hoping they would return. The following story, in its own way, is a yellow ribbon story. So when you're hearing Tony Orlando singing, tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree, it's been the long years, if you still love me, tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. So bring that energy in. Maybe picture an old oak tree that you might be tying a yellow ribbon on today as I read this story. I call it my yellow ribbon story. In September of 2005, on the first day of school, Martha Corthron, a history teacher at Robinson High School in Little Rock, did something not to be forgotten. On the first day of school, with the permission of the school superintendent, the principal, the building supervisor, she removed all of the desks from her classroom. When the first period kids entered the room and they discovered there were no desks, right? Something was not normal here. We were creating a new normal. Miss Catherine, where are our desks? She replied, you can't have a desk until you tell me how you earn the right to sit at a desk. Miss Catherine, where are our desks? And then they thought, well, maybe earning the right to having our own desk, maybe it's our grades. Is it our grades? If we get good grades, we get to sit at a desk? And Miss Catherine said, no, it has nothing to do with your grades. It doesn't even have anything to do with your behavior, good, bad, or indifferent. And so the students came and went all day. They went to other classes, first period, second period, but they always ended at the end of the day in this homeroom classroom. And still, at the end of the day, there were no desks in the classroom. And the kids called their parents to tell them what was happening, and by early afternoon, television crews had started gathering at the school to report about this crazy teacher who had taken all of the students' desks out of the classroom. The final period of the day came, and as a puzzled student found seats on the floor of the deskless classroom, Martha Corcoran then said, throughout the day, and I invite you on this Memorial Day to be with it in a way you've never been before. Throughout the day, no one has been able to tell me just what or she has done to earn the right to sit at the desks that are ordinarily found in the classroom. Now I'm going to tell you how you earn the rights to sit at this desk and to get an education that has been granted to you. At this point, Martha Catherine went over to the door of her classroom and opened it. 27 U.S. veterans, all in uniform, walked into that classroom, each one carrying a school desk. The vets began by placing the school desks in rows, and then they would walk over and stand alongside the wall and surround the classroom. By the time the last soldier had set the final desk in place, those kids started to understand. Perhaps for the first time in their lives, just how the right to sit at those desks had been earned. Martha said, you didn't earn the right to sit at these desks. These heroes did it for you. They placed the desks here for you. They went halfway around the world giving up their education, interrupting their careers and their families, so you could have the freedom to sit at this desk today. By the way, this is a true story. And the teacher was awarded the Veterans of Foreign Wars Teacher of the Year for the state of Arkansas in 2006. She is the daughter of a World War II prisoner of war. So let us always remember the men and women of our military and the rights they have won for us on this Memorial Day, if not on every day. So our Science of Mind principle is life is eternal, immortal, and continuous. And if you are a soldier who lost their life on the battlefield, if you are a soldier who came home wounded and are trying to find your way home to the life you had, to the family you had, to the peace you used to know that life is continuous and immortal. And know that right where you are, standing on the point where you are today, it is one point of possibility that I give you my word will lead you to connect with so many other points of possibility if you will have the courage to be present with the point of possibility you are standing on today. If it's the point of possibility of being homeless, if it's the point of possibility of standing in a food line, if it's the point of possibility of having seemingly lost everything you ever had, if you will be present with that moment of possibility, all things are possible. And this moment of possibility will lead to another moment of possibility, will lead to another possibility, to another possibility, to a life beyond anything you had ever imagined. And it all begins by standing on the point of possibility where you are today. So today, hopefully, we're taking a look at Science of Mind a little differently. You don't go anywhere, you go everywhere. And so yellow roses, hopefully everyone has a yellow rose. You should have a yellow rose. We have a few more in the back. Symbolizes friendship and loyalty and faith. It symbolizes the bright and sunny hue that yellow evokes, warmth and affection and tenderness, which aligns perfectly with the feelings of friendship. And when you give someone yellow roses, you're expressing care and appreciation for your friendship, your loyalty, and faith. So I invite each one of you right now to take a moment to find your point of possibility. Where's your point of possibility right now? Is it the point of the chair you're sitting in? Is it the navigational point of Beaumont, California? Or is it the inspirational point of your unlimited mind? That unlimited mind that can invite in all of those memories of the past into the healing moment of the present and carry us forward into all of those possibilities. So where's your point of possibility? I suggest it might be in your mind. And so I invite you to see that rose and hold it before you. I invite you to take it in your hand, to hold it before you, and take that rose and look at it, smell it, and be with it, and know that rose is a point of possibility. It's a point of possibility of healing and of hope and of faith. And I invite you to take that rose that you are holding into the point of possibility of your mind, which is eternal, immortal, and continuous, and to call forth the name of a loved one that you are sending this rose that you're holding in your hands, that you're holding in your heart, and that you're now holding in your heart, heart, and mind, hand, mind, and heart, and send the heart of that rose that's in your heart, send it to the heart of the loved one that you are thinking of today. And I invite you, those who feel comfortable to do so, to call out the name of that loved one, to speak it into the presence of this room.
Father Jack, Harold Cutchy, who was killed in the Korean War when I was 6 days old.
And so now from this point of possibility, and the point of possibility of Science for Mind for me is always the point of the present moment. So I invite us to come back into this room and we'll share our final story. Jason promised me he'd keep the casseroles warm. Our final story is a story of friendship and loyalty and faith. It's a story of remembering to remember. And it's not so much about the story about the language that we speak, our native language, but it's about the lessons of the love we teach by the way we live our lives, not just on Memorial Day, but on every day. Jesus did not speak English. He spoke Aramaic. Jesus and his disciples mainly spoke Aramaic, the common language of Judea and Galilee in the 1st century A.D. Aramaic had different dialects, and Jesus probably spoke a Galilean dialect that was distinguishable from that of Jerusalem. Jesus also likely knew Hebrew as a language of prayer and study, and Greek as a language of trade. But while you may not have known Jesus if you met him today by the language that he spoke, because you speak English or Spanish or Chinese, whatever languages you speak, you might not have been able to understand him or his message that he left us on this Memorial Day and every day by the language we speak. But if we remember to remember that it's not about the languages we speak, it's about the deeds of love that we bring to life. And so our final story is about a woman in an airport who speaks Aramaic. And she falls to the ground at an airport reception area where they're getting ready to board her plane. And she falls to the ground. And doing that can also be falling to the ground in prayer. Many religions pray 5 times a day. Prayer rugs fall to the ground and pray. And she's falling to the ground and she's just screaming and just terrified and just shaking. And over the intercom, the airline announces, if anyone speaks Aramaic, please come to gate 59. If anyone knows a single word of Aramaic, please come to gate 59. And this woman knows a little bit. Her grandparents spoke the language. Her parents spoke a little bit. She speaks a few words. She goes to gate 59. She lies down next to the woman and said, "What is wrong?" The woman can't explain, but it's about the flight being canceled. And the airline person said the flight hasn't been canceled, it's been delayed, and the woman could not get that across to this woman on the ground. So the woman called her father and said, Dad, you speak more Aramaic than I do. Would you speak to this woman and tell her the flight has not been canceled, it has been delayed? And the woman takes the phone, and the father starts speaking, and a few minutes go by, and the woman understands. And she says to the father, who then relays to the daughter, that she'd been waiting 2 years for a kidney transplant, and a kidney had been available, and she had to be in Dallas by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It was now 11 in the evening, and if she missed that opportunity, another opportunity for a kidney wouldn't come up for years, and she would not survive. That's what she was facing. And so with a 3-hour wait, the father put this woman in touch with the grandfather who was still living. And for 3 hours, this woman and the grandfather, who spoke perfect Aramaic, spoke for hours. And the whole waiting room was watching this miracle about the power of a person's deeds, not their words, not the language you speak. And so when they all got on the plane, and by now they were all good buddies on this 40-passenger plane that was shuttling them to Houston or Dallas, and this woman had brought a big satchel. Her family was waiting for her in Texas. She brought a huge satchel of homemade cookies, and I don't know exactly what they are, but I think it was something like baklava, but her specialty, and they were covered in powdered white sugar. They were her family, to greet her family on the day she was to return. She opened them up and she shared them with everyone on the plane. And they said when the plane landed in Houston and her family saw her coming off and saw the faces of everyone on that plane, everyone's face was covered with powdered sugar. And they thought, that's our mom. She didn't speak their language, but she sure knew the power of powdered sugar. You know, our talk today on Memorial Day was remembering to remember, and to remember that what you do take with you are the eternality of the memories of the life you lived. Live a good one. Are the eternality of the memories of those you loved. Love unconditionally. Are the eternality of the memories of those you lost. Love them in your heart, and they're never lost. And the eternality of the memory of the lives you changed, not by the language you spoke, but by the deeds of the actions you took. And so, our affirmation today, we move to the next slide. Our affirmation, our talk was remembering to remember. And today's affirmation for this Memorial Day and for every day of our lives going forward is, and I will say it first and then I invite us to say it together 3 times. I remember to remember, love is all there ever is. And so together, I remember to remember, love is all there ever is. I remember to remember, love is all there ever is. I remember to remember, love is all there ever is. And so be well, it's your choice. Stay conscious, it's your choice. Namaste, be at peace, it's your choice. And so I invite us as we end this talk to remember, love is all there ever is. And so ends our talk. Namaste. And so I'm going to go right into prayer, and then let's go into our circle up and closing song because of time. And so how do you begin a prayer that seemingly has a beginning and an end? When love has no beginning and end, it only has a point of possibility. So how do we find our way into the point of possibility of the prayer? We find the way of our way into prayer by being in the point of the possibility of where we're standing today, of where we're standing in our memory of the past, of where we're standing in our ability to bring the memory of the past into the power of this present moment, and in the power of this present moment, reflect and redesign and reaffirm that past memory into a way that opens up huge and new possibilities of a greater love and a grander love, and that allows the future to unfold right here in the present moment as a world that works for everyone, with no one left behind. No one left behind. And so together I invite us to say, And so it is. And now we will do our offering. I always forget to do the offering. I don't know. I enjoy doing the talk so much. I'm not sure the offering fits in. But then the board of directors always reminds me, no, the offering is definitely part of the service. So I invite our ushers to come forward as we read this together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. And so if you're online, our spiritual online community, if you have been blessed or touched by this today, if your heart has been opened in some way, we invite you to be part of the spiritual community and part of the practice of giving and receiving, which is part of our teaching, by texting to 951-420-6909. And if you're in service, you can text to 951-420-6909, or by going to our website, cslbeaumont.org. Know your gifts are greatly appreciated.
Gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. And so now we'll circle up and we'll sing our way out of this Memorial Day service. And we are so grateful that each of you spent this day and this point of possibility with us. And we trust you'll stay, if possible, for our fellowship lunch. Okay, good see. That something wonderful happened here at CSL Beaumont today. And that something wonderful is called peace and harmony and love and joy and compassionate and caring. And so together I invite us to say, and so it is.